So here we are deep into the night. This is the nightly Zohar Parshas Pinchas. Pinchas is the concept of the Shmiras HaBris, of the fight for the purity of sexual relations and how important that is. And we're living in a world which is turning this completely and totally upside down. The Zohar says over here, he says, Amar Rai Mahemna, the Rai Mahemna, the my Rai Mahemna, for those who haven't heard me say this before, is Moshe Rabeinu. Moshe Rabeinu comes into the yeshiva, he's gone from the universe for the word for 13 or 1400 years, or maybe more. I guess it would probably be more like 16 or 1700 years. But the Neshama Moshe Rabeinu comes into the yeshiva and speaks. He quotes a pasuk from Tehillim. This is the Tehillim number 60. It's the first words. It says, Shoshan Eidus. The question is Shoshan, and we know Shoshan from Purim, that name. And it's spelled as these are two shins. So it doesn't say Susan, or Sason, or something like that. It says Shoshan Eidus. Testimony from Shoshan. What is that? So he says, Dosa Adusa the Shechinah de Ihu Shoshan. This is the testimony of the Shechinah. The Shechinah is also called Shoshan. Now we need the Matuk Pedavash, which we'll look at, to try to understand what he's talking about. So he says, Eidus. So what's that? Eidus is testimony. Ihu Sahadusa the Kaimalon. This is a testimony that is always with us. Vasehidas alon kamemalka, and it testifies for us or on us before Hashem Yisbarach, before the judge. V'dargin ilon kadisha b'chado, and she also has very high levels of holiness along with her as she's doing this. V'siyata kadisha the shlushbachto, and with the help of some kind of holy help, I'm not sure what that meant, for praise. Now come like this, that's explanation of Shoshan Eidus. Something explanation there. Amar Rai Mahemna, so Moshe Rabeinu comes and says, like Shoshan Eidus Di'inan Sa'ade Na Yisrael. This refers to testimony about us, about what we're doing. And he said, Di'inun Evarim, and these are like limbs. I don't know what this means. V'ihu Nishmasa. So Evarim and Ihi, that is the Shoshan, Shechinah, is neshama, alayhu, is in other words, panimi to them, speaking out from them. Ihi siyata d'shmaya. So she also has helped d'shmaya. Shmaya usually means their anpin. The itmar ba that it says in regards to her, va'ata tishma hashemayim, and you, I guess, the heavens will hear. Ihi siyata gedishta. So she's this help, what? This holy help. Iminor Talya, and he said from this, the Itmar Allah, Tinyan the Semayaloch. Teach Tanya the Messiah Loch. So Tanya, that we learn, the Messiah Loch, in regards to what helps you. Now that's my translation. Let's look at the Matuk B'Devash and get his translation. So he says, V'ata ba Rai Mahemna the Rem Mahemna, now comes the voyeurs so the pasuk zeh to speak the secret of this pasuk. Amar Rai Mahemna. So the Rai Mahemna says like the Shoshan Eidus. So this phrase, he says, so the kosav, the secret of this pasuk, right? It's the 60th Psalm, the first pasuk. Dasa dusa the Shechinah the Ihu Shoshan. Zuhi, this is the testimony of the Shechinah, which is also known as Shoshan. The Mashakos of Eidus, so then it writes the word Eidus as a testimony. Translation. Shehiha Eidus Omedes Aleinu, this is the testimony that stands for us. Omeida Aleinu Difnech Amelech Baruch. And before the balance line, to understand this, to be able to say the balance line is the judgment, whether it's tilted to the right or tilted to the left. So he says, U'ma'ida aleinu v'necha melech baruch hu, and it speaks before the king, may his name be blessed. Ratzon l'lom sh'hashkina ha'kedusha, that the holy Shechinah, no tell us ma'asechem atov shal Yisrael, she takes the good deeds of the Jews, And she elevates them up, which once we've seen before again that the concept of answers to prayers has to be, the prayer comes from the bottom. And this is called Mayim Nukvin. So as a result of that, she takes our prayers and Ma'al Besod Man, in the secret of Mayim Nukvin, Man. Umara Osam Klapeza, and she shows them towards in the presence of Zeranpin. V'asi Nikva Shoshan Eidus, and when that happens, and Eidus, Zeranpin once again is the king. She's the queen, he is her king, he is her male aspect. V'asi Nikva Shoshan Eidus, and then she's called by that name. So what is, still don't know what the word Shoshan means. V'dargan Elohim Kadisha B'chadi Shoshana. So now he says, oh, Shoshan is really like the word rose. Shoshana. U'madregas Elyonis Kadosha Shal HaMalachim, the highest levels of the Madregas of the Malachim, Nechlalasim HaShoshana, that are incorporated in the concept of a rose. V'Shoshan, V'Shoshana, they're really the same word, but it doesn't really explain it. How does a rose relate to the Shechinah? Haim Ka'ayin Tzedek, so he says Shoshan, so he wants to understand, well, how do you get Shoshana and Shoshan together? How do you get Shoshan for Shoshana? He says it's because it's male, like male and female, like you have the word Tzedek and Tzedakah. Sheshnechem Malchus, both of those refer to Malchus. Amad the Beni Nimchak, so then there was apparently something was left out here. Din and Sahadim al Yisrael, so he says Shagam he Meidim al Zachusim Shal Yisrael, was they also, the Eidus, the Shoshana, the Shoshan, all testify about the Jews. The Inun Evarim ki Neshamas Yisrael. He said because the souls of Jews, Kashehem Machshirim Maasehem, when the Jews attempt to purify their deeds, Hemivarim V'Gufa the Shechinah, they actually become limbs, organs, vessels of the Shechinah. Gehem B'Sod Nishmasim Levush El Shechinah, that they are the secret, that their souls become a levush, a clothing for the Shechinah. And understand, when they use the word levush, it means that it's coming from an outside place. We are outside of the Shechinah, absolutely. She's inside of us, but we are on the outside. But when we direct ourselves towards that inside, that's what we're talking about. But we become, that is our neshamas, our desires, our hopes, become the levush to the Shechinah, v'ichun nishmas alayhu, behind the neshama alayhu. So she becomes our neshama. Our neshamas become a clothing for her. She becomes clothed in the souls of the Jews. Like you have a neshama inside of the body. So here once again we have the concept of connection, that we're looking at every place. How to connect. Need to connect. He said, Ihi Se'ata Deshmaya V'hi, that is the Shechinah, Siyu Alona is really our aid, an aid for us. Mitzad Teferes and Nikra Shemayim, beside of Teferes, which is Zer Anpin, which is also another name for Zer Anpin, is Shemayim. Ratzon Olomar, that means to say, he Ozeres Lona Begalos, that is, she actually helps us. She's there for us in our exile. The Itmar Ba, that it said in regard to her, V'ata Tishma HaShemayim, and now, and you, let the heavens hear. Pirish HaShechinah HaNikvas Ata, the Shechinah which was called you, Shomas Tefilasena Mitzad Teferes, she hears our prayer from the side of Teferes, that it means she is in between us and Zeranpin. Zeranpin is in fact the balance scale. So the balance scale could go either to the right, which is flow of bracha, or go to the left, which is din. Hari'ichu siyata de gedishta, she is the holy help. He siyua kedusha lam. Uminoa talya, umimana talya siyua, and really from the Shechinah herself is really all of the aid that we need to be able to manifest a good life in this world, a productive life in this world. The Idma Allah that said in regards to her, Tanya, the Messiah law. Tanya, Shehi Shechinah, that is Tanya, is another word for the Shechinah. Kabavur L'Chalon is going to get into that in the next little piece. He, the Masayers, the Yisrael, the she is the one that helps us. The Kol Misha Oisei B'Torah, and she does it for who? For all those who are involved in the Torah. So let's see how this goes. And that is Baruch Fleischman. We'll get into it more in the next time. Tikkun Elevator Kolel.